Welcome, apes, to your September 21st to 25th week at a glance. I apologize. I know I'm supposed to put my webcam of me talking to you, but my webcam is having some issues today. I will hopefully get those fixed soon for you, but if you could follow along with your Chromebooks and open up your week at a glance, this has been shared with you on Parent Square, and it is shared with you on Google Classroom. It is the same link every time. We are just moving to slide 4. What I want to talk about first is up at the top. It says this week's learning targets or intentions. So one of the targets is to visualize examples of Chapter 1 terms. So we're going to start to look at things in that BARC format. So visually use our auditory skills, reading and writing skills, and kinesthetic skills. So this one's really more of a visualizing with this game. Number 2, understand the nature of science. So one of my themes throughout the year will be about how does technology, how does the culture that we live within, how do these different parts change our perspectives and our view of the world, and how does science help with that process of understanding the world? And number 3, we should be applying our knowledge of ecological footprints as we go through and review Chapter 1. Tasks and assessments. So one of the things I'll ask you to do is perform either the scavenger hunt or Scribio, depending upon which one is working well for the Chapter 1 terms. I've already used the scavenger hunt last week with other students. So if Scribio doesn't work, we will use that method. Number 2, we're going to collaborate and communicate to share about 2 scientists' views. So this is your T-chart that you made about the civilization that lived on Easter Island. So you will be getting in small groups and sharing what you found out. So what I like to see you do is as you talk and share that you are going to put the viewpoints of others into your original document in a different color of ink or pen. So if you're handwriting things, just switch the color of ink or pen. If you've typed your assignment, which is what I saw on Google Classroom for most of you, then just highlight and make the text a different color. And that just tells me where other people contributed to your T-chart. And then you're going to resubmit that. So number 2 is you're going to demonstrate your ability to collaborate and communicate, to share about kind of what you found out from reading that article by Jared Diamond and watching that TED Talk by Carl Lippo. And then number 2, you're going to practice a free response question again. This one is going to be about carbon footprints. And your success criteria. So how do we know you were successful? You're going to successfully submit your shared Google Doc with the images for each term used in the game. That's if we do the scavenger hunt. If we do Scribio, that's more going to be me watching you play and seeing how you do. That one does not have an end result that I can copy and publish and look at. Number 2, resubmit a T-chart with evidence of the collaboration. So you can resubmit that reflection after talking to your peers. And number 3, earning a 5 or more on your FRQ and demonstrating that you interacted with the scoring guidelines. So we'll be doing the exact same thing that we did for the first free response question. So you'll be there'll be a link on Google Classroom that has your question. We're doing question 1 only, and then you'll have a link for your scoring guidelines where you've taken a picture after 22 minutes, and then one that you mark up, correct, and then take another picture and submit those. So that's our success. Oh, and one point here is if you didn't earn 5 or more points, that's okay. There's lots of opportunities to make those points up and show me that you understand concepts. For example, for that first question that we did on fracking, I have specific Kahoots and quizzes and different ways of demonstrating your knowledge on fracking. So even if you only got a 3 originally, you can always earn those points back by showing me and demonstrating during office hours that you do know the topic. So that brings me to another point I want to talk about that I'm noticing. There seems to be a general fear for making mistakes. I think it's great to clarify and understand the assignment, and I don't want confusion with that, but I also think it's really important for you to think through things and try to puzzle out something. In our lab activities, my labs are all going to be arranged to be inquiry format, which means each of you is going to be able to ask different questions. For example, in the bubblegum lab, some of you are looking at flavor and how long the flavor lasts. for the gum. Some are you looking at stretch. Some are you looking at how big the bubble blows. My labs are all going to approach science in that way, so that you can ask a question that is of interest to you on the concepts we're covering. With that being said, you are going to be designing and thinking through things. And the worst that's going to happen is that you might forget something or not get a controlled variable right or leave out your experimental group. And then the worst that will happen is I will say, can you fix this? Did you think about this? How about this as an idea of what to add? And then you will get your points back. So I am not point or grade driven. I am driven by you demonstrating your learning. So please keep that in mind. Give it your best shot. And the worst that's going to happen is I'm going to ask you to fix something, and then you'll have a chance to recover those points and recover the learning. I'm going to keep coming back to this until everyone understands my approach to education. All right, so the next thing I want to point out on this week at a glance is there are links here. And the important link down here is this Chapter 1 whiteboard review. This is going to link you directly into the PowerPoint, which is also under materials for you on Google Classroom. It is also on your Classroom webpage. So this should take you right into that. This is the Classroom webpage. So there are multiple ways to get to your PowerPoints. So as you scroll through this, we've been going through this in class. We're going to keep going through this so that you get all the way to the end and you are ready for your Chapter 1 practice test coming up. All right. So that's here. It's also here on your on-demand days where I'm going to ask you to work on your notes. Okay. These are some Kahoots to practice. So if you want to practice them beforehand, you're welcome to do that. This one's on fracking and this one's on Chapter 1. So these are all open and you can do them anytime if you want to do them before class and be ready. And then we'll do them as a class as well. We are going to talk about science literacy. Okay, so we are going to spend about 10 minutes going through the lesson that you did on demand a week ago. And we're going to sign up for fact or fiction claims. One thing I am going to be adding into the weekly agenda, because I was able to get it done, is I took a portion of a workshop on information literacy that I went to and made it into 2 ed puzzles. And I wanted to go through those and discuss those so that you guys can do step 1 a little bit more successfully, so that you're actually getting valid sound science when you go research these claims. So when you click on these claims, and we'll do all of this in class, you are going to be signing up here for different things that I have heard in the media. So up to 4 from students. These are just different things that I hear over the years. And this first one is a mix of a lot of different things. So as we get into this, it'll be on specific topics that go with your units. But up to 4 students can and should research the same claim. The idea is you are going to all bring in different articles that will reject or support the claim. And then you will challenge each other to be critical consumers of that information. I want to stress that this is a skill and it is a very difficult one. So we're going to practice this skill all year long. This is one of my #1 goals that you get out of this course, is that you are able to process a claim that you hear, whether it's a friend or the TV, and know whether to reject or support that claim based on science and evidence. If you are tired of coronavirus topics, you can scroll down. These are just recent ones that were in the media the past 6 months. So if you would like to do something that's not coronavirus related and COVID-19, just keep scrolling and you will get to more environmental science type claims. And then you can see that students have already accessed this even before class. And you just write your name up here. Do try to match up though the correct class period, so that you are able to work with those people during class. You are more than welcome to work with people from period 1 or 3 if you're 2, but that'll be a little more difficult because I won't be providing you that time to collaborate between periods. All right, so back to your week at a glance. That's here. So we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to work on textbook learning curves for chapter 1 and textbook flashcard challenge. I'm going to be putting an optional video. Some students were asking a lot of questions about the Launchpad app, so I just want to do one more of those and walk you through how to access the different assignments on there. Those assignments, I think, have a due date that I modified to the 27th. Those original due dates were based on being able to access it right when school starts, which we did not do. Over here, you can see your on-demand days, right? Watch 2Ed puzzles, take notes on chapter 1, time yourself 22 minutes for the FRQ, and then watch 2Ed puzzles on day 2, finish your notes, share those notes on Google Classroom. Notes are usually due on the day of a test. So that's just a general guideline I go for because I'd like you to have notes available to you while you take your practice exams. So if you are ready, you're going to take your practice exam this day on Wednesday. This will allow you 3 attempts. The best attempt will be recorded in Skyward. I have a code, so you'll see it on your calendar and it'll be visible right now, but you'll need a code to access it. It will time you, so you have a 60-minute total. I'm going to, so if you accidentally get disconnected, you can just get back on again because it will give you 3 attempts. Let me know if you have any questions about that. I may need to move that around as far as the day of the week for those of you that have an on-demand day after that. But I'll take a look at your agenda. Thank you. That was